Angry Mojtaba is reportedly turning to Iran's proxy network once again after Trump hinted that a return to war remains on the table. A commercial vessel was attacked less than 200 kilometers from the area associated with one of Iran's most feared regional proxies. Not the Strait of Hormuz this time. Another strategic waterway is rapidly heating up as Trump and Bibi refuse to relent. Even as Trump insists the deal is not final, Israel continues rejecting calls to pull back from Lebanon.
It's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing.
A commercial shipping vessel came under attack from armed assailants near Yemen's port city of Aden on June 17. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, or UKMTO, reported the security incident in waters close to Aden. According to UKMTO, the confrontation took place roughly 105 nautical miles, or 194 kilometers, northeast of Aden, Yemen. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said, and I quote, UKMTO has received a report of an incident 105 nautical miles northeast of Aden, Yemen. A vessel has been approached to within 4 meters and fired upon by 2 skiffs with an unknown number of armed persons on board. The vessel has deployed security team and returned fire. The suspect skiffs have now disengaged and are in excess 4 nautical miles of the vessel. The crew are safe. Vessels are advised to transit with caution and report any suspicious activity to UKMTO, while authorities are investigating. End quote. Authorities have yet to establish which group or organization was responsible for carrying out the attack on the vessel. Earlier, 2 merchant ships were also reportedly targeted by armed skiffs operating off Yemen's coastline, according to UKMTO. Iran's Quds Force commander Ismail Qani has reappeared in public after spending months out of view during a period of heightened regional tensions. Qani's return marks his first major public appearance since the outbreak of the Iran-US conflict. Speaking to Iran's Kabar network on June 15, Qani said Hamas would soon rebuild and recover. Qani also claimed that the so-called axis of resistance emerged stronger from the conflict despite months of war. Ismail Qani said, and I quote, "No one can stand against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and everything you have seen from Hezbollah in Lebanon is only the tip of the iceberg. Bab al-Mandab is one of the winning cards of the resistance front, and if necessary, other cards will also be revealed. Do not get involved with the resistance front. Wherever you confronted the resistance, you are left with no dignity." Unquote. Qani claimed the war had placed both the United States and Israel under growing strategic and political pressure. The United States and Iran are preparing to sign a landmark memorandum of understanding in Switzerland on June 19. However, in his latest remarks on the agreement, Trump once again issued a warning directed at Tehran. The U.S. president claimed Washington could resume bombing campaigns against Iran if Tehran fails to honor the agreement. At the same time, Trump acknowledged that Iranian negotiators had been effective and capable throughout the talks process.
If they don't honor the agreement, or some things aren't even mentioned in the agreement, it's a memorandum of understanding, but we have an understanding of certain things without writing it. And if they don't honor that, we'll probably go back to bombing them until they honor it, you know? It's amazing what bombs can do. Because you can't cover everything in a document. It's common sense. They don't want to get bombed. They don't want to get hit. As far as sanctions are concerned, at some point, you know, we have sanctions which will never let them rebuild. They would have no money. They would be in poverty. The 91 million people would starve. So something will happen as soon as they behave. When they behave, we're going to let that go. We're going to have to. I put sanctions on a lot of people, and then I let them go. A lot of countries. We have taken a lot of their money, and we have their money. We have taken their money. It's not our money. It's their money. And we froze it. At a certain point in time, I guess we're going to have to give it back. You know, if we didn't give it back, nobody would ever invest in the dollar again. I didn't do this for regime change, but I think this group is regime change. I mean, hey. Now, if it was a fault, and as you know, that's under investigation, it's such a strange question to be asked at this state. You're talking about a long time ago, but nobody did that on purpose. I guess you'd have to say about them, what about the thousands of soldiers that they blew up when they opened their car door? What about the thousands of people that were killed by Iran? No, mistakes are made. The war is nasty. But I know it's under investigation, and I could have a report for you tomorrow. Maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has already increased very substantially, and the normal flow of energy will resume in the coming days, and trillions of dollars will be made by the world, and the stock market will, I believe, continue to rise. The only difference is that a player that's very volatile, very tough, very smart, frankly, they have, in one way, a primitive culture, but it's also a genius primitive culture. They're very smart people, very good negotiators, but so are we. So we'll be working on a parallel effort with the Gulf nations to address non-nuclear issues such as the conventional ballistic missiles, which we'll be talking about, and support. I mean, they have to have some because other people have some. You got to have some. What I'm doing and what I did should have been done years ago. Would have been much easier, much less firepower, but it wasn't. And again, I want to thank all those countries, and I want to thank Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. So I think China's been terrific. I told you that before. They could have been bad. They could have sent in to try and block or break the blockade. They could have sent in an oil ship with 6 destroyers alongside of it on each side. They didn't do that. President Xi helped me. He tried to help, and I think he probably helped get it solved. They get 50% of their oil from that location. So that wasn't that easy. President Xi was fantastic. He tried to help me solve it. But as I expressed to the world leaders here this week, it's my hope that the peace agreement will be the beginning of a much larger deal all across the Middle East. We're very close. Look at the job we've done in Gaza. Look at Hamas. Hamas has been very silent. You haven't read anything about Hamas. The Lebanon peace is something we'll have to work on a little bit. It's a very small piece of the puzzle, actually, but it still makes a lot of noise. The big deal is the Iran deal. That's where the money is, where the power was. But they have Hezbollah, and we got to get that done one way or the other. We'll do it. I think Israel can do a much better job on it. Syria would love to do it. So the expansion of the Abraham Accords is the other thing that we hope we're going to get. And I think Saudi Arabia, if they lead the way, they'd be doing themselves a big favor. I might.
You might?
Yeah, I might. But I'd rather, this is a memorandum of understanding. It's very important, but it might not be the kind of a document that I should be signing. This way, if it works out, I'm going to take the credit. If it doesn't work out, I'm blaming JD. You better be careful, JD. He's going to turn his plane around and get the hell out of here. Yeah, I like that idea. I think it's a good idea. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.